Oh yes, legends. How is everybody doing? Let's analyze the situation. We don't have a pretty picture here for the price of Bitcoin. What is going to happen? Are we going to continue to the downside? Lots of people interested in longing right now. Or are we going to much lower prices, guys? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be going through the comment section. First of all, guys, as you know, I need to give some love to my community. I need to say hello and give some love. As always, how is everybody doing, guys? Make sure to destroy that like button if you do enjoy the content, guys. And we will be going through the technical analysis on the price of Bitcoin, on Ethereum mainly, because Ethereum, I'm liking Ethereum, guys. Ethereum, I do see it coming to all-time high again. The question is when. Let's talk about timing. Let's talk about September. Will we manage to bounce off where we're at right now? Because I have to say, we are at support on Ethereum. Could this be a running flat right over here? And we are just ready to continue this bullish momentum. Let's go. The correction is finished for Ethereum and we're looking for higher prices. I'm skeptical about it, guys. I'm very skeptical. I think we could be ranging a little bit more. I think we could dip below $4,000. And that's what I believe is likely to happen before we get a successful breakout. It is very common to hit a swing high, to then come back down to the swing low. And I am betting on it, guys. I am betting on it after that failed auction, swing failure pattern from all-time high that was given my trade setup, basically telling you what I'm doing with Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've got a Bitcoin trade that was stopped out. Lost over $10,000, guys, on that Bitcoin long position. But ultimately, I did go pretty heavy on Ethereum. Giving in advance here inside of the pro community or in the analyst channel here on Telegram, the exclusive Telegram, guys. If you want more info to get here, we've got Dylan, one of the coaches, giving possible altcoin setups, okay? And I'm mainly doing Bitcoin and Ethereum, trying to get into bigger swings. So very patient on looking for those setups. Now, I did miss the long position on Ethereum. I was, very much looking for swing long positions to take out all-time high. However, I did not get into this swing long position on Ethereum, guys. I missed it. I missed the long trade on Ethereum. But if you miss the long, don't miss the short, right? If you miss the long, don't miss the short. Now, eventually, it's coming very interesting to look for swing longs to take out all-time high again, right? We'll be discussing Ethereum later on. And also, most importantly, Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin? Because, there was high probability not breaking through on the first test here, which it did not, okay? High probability that we would not break down successfully with the first test. But we got more information. We've been losing the lows, and we got other structures developing here, which are not looking too sexy. When we do revisit the lows as yesterday, I want to see the price leave, go, form another wave. We have the chance for that to happen. It did not happen. We got a bounce of a couple of $1,000s from that double bottom that did happen here live on stream, guys. I'm not sure. Some people did enter the long, okay? We were very much vocal about taking profits, guys. We are downtrending. There is a chance that we do get a nice push to the upside, but we are downtrending and we are looking for the downtrend to maybe continue as well. This was just an entry trigger, double bottom right over there, a bit of a sniper trade, nice little pump of a couple of $1,000s. Make sure to pay yourself, okay? And leave some open just in case. You got a free trade right there, but you want to take 50% profits, 60, 40, whatever you want, take profit. It's a free trade, okay? Very, very good, technical, easy trade to enter. And right now, Bitcoin is getting the dump motion here, which is not looking too great. We got a bit of a three-wavy structure here. Not looking too great, right? You got a high right there, the high zone. You got a higher low. You attempt to break out this previous week low, which, it's an important level, guys. You either successfully break out of it. Previous week low, right? We're going to keep it technical and easy. This is the previous week low from that dump of Sunday. We did create that double bottom, SFP, ever so slightly. Even some exchanges did not hit the low. And we got the bounce. However, that bounce did not manage to move through. Let's see here what levels we are hitting on the lower time frame. Let's get that VWAP and see what's going on. VWAP has been slightly lost here as we speak. No bueno, guys. No bueno in a downtrend when you form this kind of three-wavy structure, you know, and you fail on the third wave, right? You want that third wave to get a little bit of a push. Mainly, most of the times, we've failed to break out the previous week low, which previous week low, you know, does that mean that this week is destined to create new lows, right? More lows to come. If the previous week low, right? Sure, it's very important to get back above the previous week low. As you can see, we broke down here throughout late last night, acted as resistance, boom, acted as resistance again, like a kind of a trappy inverted head and shoulder breakout, right? You got the neckline right there, and it was a bit of a trappy situation. Of course, if you're using Elliott wave theory and you're using price action, you realize that the trend is very much downtrending. This was a bit of a three-wave move down, quick rejection to sweep up the lows. Would I say that this is a good long entry? You know, when we do look at the downtrend, right? We are downtrending. So preferably in a three-wave structure at resistance. If you fail to break out, you know, and you reject from it, looks more interesting to look for shorts to claim the lows again, right? Kind of thing. If we do reclaim the previous week low, right? We get a push up here with some, pretty nice volume. You could back test it. You could definitely back test it if you get a solid breakout, not this. If you get this, it's a failed breakout. No bueno. Get a nice little push, right? Of a few $100s, right? Get the push out from this proven level of resistance that failed just about, an hour ago, or I don't know, about a couple of hours ago. Failed to break out. If we were to get a breakout here, we could flip that level into support to revisit the highs, right? All of this for the scalpers, a scenario that was mentioned in today's video update in the Legends Pro community. Now, this is basically what happened on Ethereum. We had an attempt in backtesting the previous week, which it did manage to bounce, I have to say. It did manage to bounce previous week open. Previous week open. We got a little bit of support right there, but it's not looking that great for Ethereum also, guys. I have to be honest. Short, the big short, guys. The big short. I want the price of Ethereum to really get down to $4,000. That's what I want to happen for Ethereum, because I'm in a pretty interesting short that might turn into a 6-digit trade, just like the one from Bitcoin last month. Well, a few weeks ago, actually, which was hitting new all-time highs. I managed to make a 6-digit swing long position to all-time high missed out on the short at the double top of all-time high. And I had that same feeling for Ethereum. I've been analyzing Ethereum throughout the last 1 to 2 weeks. And if we do not manage to break out successfully from all-time high, there is a chance of getting a big pullback and even sweeping up the lows. There's going to be so many stops here at this $4,000 range, guys. It would be absolutely beautiful to come all the way down there. It would be nice, to be honest, because I missed the short on the failed auction on Bitcoin, but I did not miss the one on Ethereum. Okay, I'm very much betting on that movement down. So let's see if we do get that continuation. And there are reasons to believe that it might happen, which I will explain in today's live stream. Okay, let's see if we get below $4,000, basically the lows in the next few days. I mean, this is a big percentage move. I'm not used to trading these big percentages. On Bitcoin, it's usually 2, 3, 5%. But this is already a 10% move down. This is why, it's been quick profits on this one. But if it gets down to below $4,000, it can be a 20% correction, which would be very, very nice indeed. Very big percentage, 20% move. If you're in a trade, you can make absolute bank, guys. You can make insane profits on a 20% move with a bit of leverage and good risk. Let's go right away through comment section. We'll be talking about Bitcoin. What are the scenarios? We're going to talk about market structure, Elliott wave theory, a bit of harmonics as well. We're going to get in, you know, the most important levels of resistance and support. We are currently just trading at the base of the value area high of this entire consolidation that we had throughout May and July, guys. Big base, big consolidation zone where we do have the value area high that is trying to hold, right? That high volume node, when we do get the volume profile, that's where we're dancing around here throughout the last few hours, right? There's a bit of dancing motion going on here when we do take a look at the VRVP, the volume range volume profile, the visual volume profile. VRVP, I think it is, isn't it? So we are hitting at the base, right? We're at the base of the big volume here. Some might speculate that this has to hold, right? But internally, I don't like it, guys. I don't like this to catch a long position right now based on the information that we have from the last few days. I do not like how we got down here. It is not looking good. I don't like it. I don't want to bring fear in the market, guys. I'm just telling you what I want to see so I can position myself on my next Bitcoin trade. I've only mainly traded Ethereum successfully throughout the last few days. And Bitcoin, I got stopped out, guys, from a long position. Stupid long position, guys. I'm so pissed off. I know better. Forget about the news pumps or the dumps. I got trapped, guys. But anyway, that was a little scratch. The Ethereum trade is making profits from that loss. So we are going to be analyzing the situation here for Bitcoin. You know, we are at the base. We are at support. Can we manage to bounce in this region? There's more to it, right? I wish it would be so simple to just say, oh, we at support, right? Look at all of these resistance support flips. This should bounce. Without a doubt, it has a chance just looking at the basic technical analysis. But there is more to it, guys. It gets a little bit more complex. We cannot just use trend lines, right? And volume profile. There is definitely more to it. Let's go quickly through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community and see what's going on, okay? And we'll try and discuss some important levels, scalping opportunities. I know a lot of people want to do intraday scalping, right? We had a little nice long yesterday on the stream as we were starting the stream. It was a successful swing failure pattern, double bottom, nice little scalp long. Lots of people in the comment section saying, I'm long, I catch the long. Nice little rally up. Make sure to pay yourself, right? And this was not an easy short, I have to say. Not an easy short. We did not have nothing too major. I mean, there was a high volume node potentially here. Yeah, previous day value area low, right? Did act as resistance. This is pretty curious. This is very good to have on the chart as well. The previous day value levels, okay? Bitcoin really trying to push here after sweeping these lows. But you can see previous day value area low where you have that high volume node, right? Bitcoin trying to push through the previous day value area low, right? High volume from this consolidation. Bitcoin today pushing lower throughout yesterday night, and today struggling with the previous day value area low. So previous day value area lows, are becoming an issue here. Reclaiming the previous day value area low could be an interesting, nice rally, right? If you get a successful break above the previous day value area low, which is sitting where we do have in confluence the previous week low, which is this from the dump of Sunday. That's the previous week low, guys. Then where we are getting resistance, right, throughout today and last night. Getting back inside the previous value area can be a sign of strength in the immediate short term. And what is very common to see when you get inside of the previous day value area, despite if you're trading outside of it to the upside, when you get back inside, you have the potential of getting down to the low of the previous day value area low. Same applies to the upside. If you are trading below the previous day value area low and you manage to reclaim previous day value area low. Of course, you do have point of control. You do have some levels of resistance. There is a high chance that you can push up to the previous day value area high because you're back inside of yesterday's trading zone, and you could probably just range in there with the potential to take out the previous day value area high, right? Just some simple, range trading, right? Reclaim sign of strength without using Elliott wave theory. I know some Elliott wave theory sometimes can be a little bit heavy, guys. I do understand that, right? It can be a little bit heavy and confusing. I did get a message from Pac-Man the other day saying, I can't deal with this whole thing of Elliott wave theory, right? It can, you got new information every day. Things can change, and it can be pretty heavy, right? And we want to go with the traditional way of trading as well. Intraday, support, resistance, and good levels of confluence, right? Such as daily levels, point of controls, sometimes, double bottoms and double tops, swing failure pattern, right? Swing failure pattern has to be one of the easiest ways of trading with extreme good risk management, guys. How good is just trading a goddamn swing failure pattern from the high or from the low, right? From a range high to a range low, right? Just get in the goddamn trade, stop loss at the high, get into the goddamn trade here. Take advantage of these rallies. Your stop losses can be very small if the wick is if the wick is small, This is what happened on Ethereum. I mean, this was the main trade on Ethereum that I got in. It's literally a failed auction from all-time high. Breakout, close a 4-hourly candle. Using a little bit of Elliott wave theory, I understood that breaking out successfully here and going to the moon mission on Ethereum was extremely unlikely. We discussed this on Bitcoin, and I didn't get into the short, guys. I mean, this happened at 1 o'clock in the morning, but we were discussing in a live stream when we were trading in this range. If we come up from here to all-time high, the probabilities in breaking out successfully are very low, guys. Very, very low. And that was using a little bit of Elliott wave theory, right? Understanding the waves and the timing. When we analyze this structure, your biggest move was this one right over here. So a multiple 1-2, unlikely because your third 1-2 is the largest wave. You don't want to see that. You want to see the first one being the largest most of the times or similar in length. When we understood that this is a 5-wave structure, we're probably looking at an ABC flat if it is going to be bullish, and then we go. So a rejection would be likely. Or we formed a double zigzag. Zigzag up, correction, zigzag up, down, up, which means bearish. So all of the scenarios were leaning out that a breakout here was just, all of the scenarios were pointing out that getting a successful breakout after forming this, I don't think so. We need some kind of a big pullback, or worst case scenario is that it is a double zigzag and we come back down to the lows, right? Which was the case. So a bit of the Ethereum analysis was very, very, I would say similar, not the same, but similar. If you get the Ethereum price correcting down, and I missed the long, I thought we were going to correct a little bit more and then push to all-time high, guys. But then we got the Fed Chair Powell here speech, and I missed the pump, guys. What can we do? It doesn't matter. There's opportunities every other day, right? So I wasn't too worried about it. The fact that we moved up here, when you get the biggest move, you realize that you want to label this as your wave 3 most of the times, because what comes next has low probability to get massive follow through. When you have a big wave, your next waves are unlikely to get a big follow through. Yeah, it could break down a little bit, but to get massive follow through is unlikely. So, I was just using a little bit of the different scenarios here just to cover the education, guys. I want to explain why the hell did you get into a short in a bull market, right? It's just, you need to give the explanation. it was purely based that we had a big move here to the upside. And it's either going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we look to have a correction to then maybe continue up, or looking for an ABC flat, because there was a way of counting this as the A wave, the B wave, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish your C wave. There is a way of counting this as a double zigzag. So this would be a larger A, B, and C in a running flat, or C in an expanding flat. That's what I am looking for. I am looking for this situation. Would be absolutely awesome, because it's a big trade for me. And I know that the probabilities are there for that to happen, especially when you do look at the last push for Ethereum. Look at this, guys. The consolidation that we had at the end of July. This wave starts from here. When you do see this, bang, 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 big consolidation, and then bang. You can clearly see there's a 5-step wave here to the upside. And for the price to get continuation from here with this correction didn't make too much sense for me. And that has to do with what happened here. Looking at how we got up here, right? This is why we want to zoom out a little bit. And when I understand, I mean, holy smokes, we got up to almost hitting all-time high since June with this huge impulsive move with no big large correction in a wave 4, which is what usually happens. You get a larger range before getting big continuation up in a wave 4. And I'm like, wait a minute, we've come up here too fast. Obviously leaning that this is a wave 3, and we need to see some kind of a large 4th wave correction, you know. And I'm not, you know, discarding the idea that maybe your wave 5 is not in yet, right? This is your first wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? And it actually extends, that's a massive 3rd wave. Then you get your 4 and then your 5 later on, right? Throughout the year. Maybe. But anyway, with this price action, it was enough reason to think that you might form a flat here to complete that wave 4. 1, 2, 3, and you have a 4th wave in a flat entering into September. You're getting below 4,000, right? It's a possibility. And of course, if the price does give you the chance for the failed auction, realizing that continuation here after the big wave up that we had on Friday is unlikely, I want to get in. Miss the long, not missing the short trade. Obviously, it is already a good move of 10%. So, I mean, the price has dumped down just over 10% from all-time high. Anyway, we are here to talk about the opportunities, right? Not my trades. I just wanted to give you a little bit of education to explain you why I'm in that short trade, why I provided that short trade, and telling the community that we add to the position if the 4-hourly candle closes beneath the all-time high, which would give that ultimate confirmation of a failed auction, to then look for the move down at least to the mid 4K levels, which is where we at, with the potential coming down to the lows. So add to the position, guys. You know, this was a small position originally, but if you get down, trigger those rest of the orders to make it a 3% trade. Go in heavy, because risk management can be very good. Anyway, we are here to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and look at the other scenarios. Okay, I'm going to explain a little bit what I'm looking for based on the higher time frame. I'm not interested as of yet for a long position on Bitcoin. I'm going to be explaining how we've developed the movement down since all-time high and what are the different movements that can develop throughout the next coming days, so we can have an idea when this could, you know, likely finish. I am believing that new all-time highs will happen for Bitcoin till proven otherwise. Okay, we are leaning on this to be a 5-wave structure in a contracting diagonal, finishing a wave 1, which would be a leading diagonal, or a wave 5, which would be an ending diagonal, right? Doesn't really matter. We really need to look at the correction. The main reason why it could be a ending diagonal is because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? 4, 5, and you create another 4, 5 because you can fit in here some multiple 1, 2s in this region. Another all-time high is very much a scenario that I'm looking at, and the information that we do get in the next coming days will give us the highest probability scenario to see if this is going to be corrective, and we're looking for another all-time high later on throughout the next coming weeks, or if it's basically a multiple 1, 2, and we're just going to break down here very aggressively, which could also happen, guys. That's what I want to explain, looking at this movement down with the information that we have currently, to try and give you an idea. I mean, I do not know what's going to happen, guys. It's not clear price action. I do see lower prices coming. I do see a bounce possibility. So I have no clue. If you want, for me to be honest, I have no clue what we're looking for here. You can get into intraday scalp scenarios. That is fine. Just like yesterday, right? Double bottom. I would fancy a double bottom from these lows right over here. That's a nice little scalp. We can get a nice little bounce from this double bottom. And the main reason why is because we have previous year high, guys. The year high of 2024 was exactly here at 108.5K. Depending on what exchange you are using. The highest level, right, from 2024. And a previous year high, close, low is important. It is important, even though if it's for an instant reaction. That is leaning just below this low right over here. So an instant reaction bounce all the way up to the VWAP for a little scalp is very much a possibility. We got the session VWAP that would be climbing down. Quick double bottom, just like the one yesterday, is an option here, just because we do have the previous year high. Previous year high, guys. It's the year high of 2024. The year high has to get some kind of a reaction, very likely. And this is why a double bottom here on the previous year high could get you a little scalp opportunity, okay? Previous week low today is acting as resistance. Little, sweep of the highs, sniper short here on the rejection for a possible 3-wave structure to then roll down was also an option right now. Right now we're in the middle of this area, which eventually does not give any nice opportunities, right? When you're in the middle of a range, you do not want to really do much, okay? Unless you're getting into these sweep of the lows very quickly for a little scalp. Not too interested in these movements. So as we failed to break above the previous week low, giving you that short option on the rejection, target zone is the lows in a downtrend. In a downtrend, you want to try and take out the lows again. That gives you a quick option for a short. Previous week low, SFP, failed breakout. If you successfully break above a few $100s with some high volume, it could back test it and get quick continuation. This could be a quick move. And if we come back down to the lows, a nice little scalp would be optional, as we do have the previous year high. In the middle of a range, I think it's no man's land. And I do not want to participate here in anything on Bitcoin. So we'll be zooming out on the 1 hourly time frame, trying focusing here on what is going on with the price of Bitcoin, using a little bit of Elliott wave theory, the favorite of the people. And let's go right away through the comment section to say hello to the absolute legends here in the comment section. Sorry guys, I was a few minutes here late in saying hello. Staffer1, I already slapped that like button, guys. Let's see how many likes we do have. I'll tell you what, if we get to 1,000 likes, we are giving $1,000. with 600 people on the stream, it's going to be very hard, but who knows? We got a lot of people leaving, fucking off, and then more people coming back in, so it might reach 1,000. If we get 500 likes, we'll do a special giveaway. If we get 1,000 likes, we'll do a $1,000 giveaway. How about that? That seems pretty good. That seems pretty good. Anyway, let's go right away through the comment section. Hang on a minute. Okay, let's go through comment section right away. I'm having some issues here. Let me know if the connection is good, guys, because I'm getting some red flashes here on the streamer. Anyway, let's go. I think it's still rolling. Still rolling. We're going to discuss Bitcoin, guys, and Ethereum mainly, okay? And we're going to see what's going on with the levels. Locally, I think it's very simple. Locally is very simple for little slaps, little scalps. Let's go right away through the comment section. Say hello. Vamos, el profesor Staffa One. Much love to you, brother. I hope you're doing absolutely well. Peter D, let's go, legends. Daniel Singleton, good afternoon. Dan, August, new all-time high. Lol. Yeah, I think it's not going to happen, right? We just, we left September. We didn't put August in on the poll, okay? Where's the poll, by the way? September, 36%. A lot of people are going to believe in that we're going to get all-time high here in September, where it has, generally speaking, been one of the most bearish months for Bitcoin. But August, we were talking about August being green. We just have a few days to finish August. August has been green post-halving years. Maybe not this time, guys. We're already down 5% and there's only a few days left to finish August. September, is it going to be bearish? Bullish, new all-time high. We've got 36% of people. I think we need a little bit more flushes going on here, guys. We need to flush the market to get people fearful. No, bear market, 13%. October, 29%. Yeah, October is a good month, guys. We can see that in the history. Look at this. October being one of the best months in crypto, in Bitcoin, basically, right? So let's see. Let's see. Guess what, guys? The famous, I got a few comments on this one. M2, right? What's going on with the M2 global money supply, legends? The biggest divergence ever. I got someone that is, he likes to hate and comment quite a bit, going, you know, against many things that I talk about. It's just, he's a fan of doing that. I don't know why, but he comes in the comment section and likes to say, well, I think this is not going to happen, or I think this is wrong, or this is, you know, nobody gives a fuck, right? I'm just giving you my opinion. And that would be the biggest divergence if we go down to the low 100K levels from the M2 global money supply. Nobody gives a crap about this. Why, now we are having this massive divergence. Well, guess what? We have the biggest divergence right now from the M2 global money supply. Surprise, surprise. What are your favorite YouTubers going to talk about if we do dump down to lower levels with the altcoins as well following up? What are they going to say? Big divergence right now with the price of Bitcoin and the M2 money supply. So screw that. We are here to take a look at the levels and the technical analysis and short a bull market. Why are you shorting the bull market? We can short, guys. Whoever got into this double top on Bitcoin is making bank, guys, is making a huge amount of gains, right? Holy smokes. I was focusing for weeks here to take out all-time high, and this happened in a matter of a week. I missed out on this short because I was too focused on the bullishness. And this is what happened on Ethereum as well, right? You know, too focused, too hyped up on the bullishness. You got all of these ETFs, you got, you know, banks and stuff. You know, the euro is going to be on the Ethereum network, the digital currency. Well, you know, there's always shorting opportunities as well, right? When, if you know to detect them. I would have been pissed off to miss out on this short, if I'm honest with you. Anyway, sorry, excuse my language here, guys. I was just reminding myself from a couple of nasty comments that I got. Hey, Andy, always a pleasure to watch your lives. Paolo, thank you very much. Excuse my language today, guys. I'm feeling a little bit aggressive, okay? We'll be going through the price of Bitcoin, keeping it professional, okay? It felt like swearing a little bit on live here because this stream is not made for kids. It says it very clear when you start the stream. Is this stream for kids? Is your content for kids or isn't it not for kids? It's not for kids. So if you are a kid, you need to get out because, you know, we're going to start, you know. All right, that's enough. Short rule. Let's go. 106K is calling Orit. Yeah. 𝗬𝗫𝗍, my man, much love to you, brother. Thanks for joining the stream. Better use protection. 𝗬𝗍𝘆 like smashed. 𝗬𝗍𝘆 the legend here himself. Bring on the alpha, 𝗬𝗍𝘆. I am a little bit confused here on Bitcoin. 1,000 likes, $1,000 giveaway. That's happening, guys. If it does manage to reach there, we'll do a giveaway. If we will do a giveaway if we get to 500 likes, okay? So yeah, anyway, let's go and dive in right away through the price of Bitcoin, right? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Light, Nick, absolute legend, Nick. Mustafa, the CME gap. You're all good, Andy. Yeah, we make mistakes. CME gap, that is interesting. That's something that I have not been paying attention. But we do have a CME gap, guys. We do have a CME gap, a big one. You know, all the way up to $117,000. Nobody knows when that's going to get filled, but it is there. It is there, right? So we are looking for the price of Bitcoin to potentially have a corrective structure, guys. That is the main idea. And of course, we want this downtrend to be broken, right? We had a little bit of a trappy situation here, guys, and I got trapped with this. I have to say, I can't lie about it. You know, I bought into the FOMO after the correction. And, you know, I discussed this. I cannot lie about this, guys. I got a community where I tell them where I'm entering my trades. And there was a Bitcoin trade that I got into that went to stop loss on the weekend. I cannot lie about it. I have a community. I have a reputation. I share here all of my scenarios that I'm looking for on Bitcoin and Ethereum, telling them, you know, where I'm putting stop, where I'm looking for the price to target. And Bitcoin got stopped out, but the Ethereum trade, where we're looking for a candle close and add to the position very aggressively at all-time high, is the one that is playing out. That was the latest one from the weekend, that it's actually doing pretty well. Now, I will be taking more profits on this Ethereum trade if we do manage. Shall we do Ethereum first, guys, or Bitcoin? Ethereum managing here very nicely with this bounce. It doesn't look very powerful for the moment. But the moment we reclaim the last lower high, I would be skeptical about the price of Ethereum coming down to the low $4,000 and potentially look for new all-time highs later on, okay? The main reason why is market structure. Keeping it simple, the downtrend that we have had, you can count a 5-wave move here to the upside on Ethereum. You can also count an ABC, preferably from this flat scenario. That's what I'm betting on. And I would like to see this Ethereum downtrend to be a multiple 1-2, where we have a 1-2, 1-2. We get the third wave breakdown and then we 4-5 into September, right? And potentially then we start getting the reversal later on. That's what I would like to see for a expanding flat. So the moment we do reclaim the last lower high of this downtrend, then it ends up in a 3-wave structure. And reclaiming this pivot is going to be bullish. Of course, you could correct down. You can form a double zigzag. Ultimately, it would be a sign of Time to collect the rest of the profits. This is a trade that won't get to the 6 digits, and it is what it is. But as we are downtrending, and we do have the multiple 1-2 scenario and the ABC scenario still very much possible for the flat. As long as we are below this last lower high, it could be all good. 1-2, 1-2, depending on what Bitcoin does, break down in a third wave, 4-5, 4-5. Hopefully this does happen for Ethereum. The moment, and then obviously I'm interested in swing long positions, guys. I am very interested in swing long positions. I will be getting ready for some swing longs in the Legends Pro community, or in the, basically the Signals channel, the exclusive channel on Telegram. I'll be letting the people know, just like I let the people know on my short position on Ethereum, where is my next long trade. It might be a little scalp day trade if we do reclaim this high. I will be looking at the information later on to see if we are going to, look for a corrective move and then move up. Of course, we would need a lot more information here. But hitting all-time high on Ethereum is very likely to happen in the very near future. So I'm interested in longs. I am interested in longs. What I would like to see is a larger range, is a larger corrective move in this area to develop on Ethereum, to then speculate that we are looking at a wave 4, a larger time frame wave 4, right? To then get the squeeze out, potentially entering into October, late September. If we were to break out to all-time high again from this move, guys, we will likely correct heavier later on, okay? This will not be healthy if we break out from here. We form a higher low and we push up to all-time high. This will not be healthy in this parabolic rally. The correction will be more aggressive. The correction would be more aggressive, in my opinion, entering into September, October, if we were to push up to all-time high. So it's preferred that that correction and that range does happen in this zone. So then we can get the push out later on into October potentially. Or, part of September. If we get a rally from here, then the correction will happen later on. Not to worry about that. So, yeah, what could be interesting here? I am waiting patiently for Ethereum to get into this higher time frame order block. This is the zone where I am interested in looking for swing longs on Ethereum. In between the $3,300 and the $3,900. That would be the zone of interest to look for the next wave up at the end of the year to finish this bull run, regardless if it's going to be an expanding wave 5. The good thing about wave 5s is that you never know how they're going to develop. They can be very small. They can be extremely powerful. You don't know how a wave 5 could develop really at the end stages of a bull run. So, wave 5s can be longer than your wave 3s. They can be an expanding wave 5. So it's like the ultimate rally of the bull run. And if we do correct in the next 1 to 2 weeks, it's just going to be perfect to build up, guys. There will be big long positions building up if we do, come in a corrective matter here in this zone. I mean, I'm leaning on the flat for the moment. It might be a flat, then you form a zigzag, and then another zigzag down. It can be larger than we expect, because you could form a WXY here, starting with a flat, and then you zigzag up, then you create another low. It gets a little bit more scary than most of the people think. So yeah, this is probably going to take a few weeks to develop. But it would be, this would be the next major zone to take advantage, guys, for the next swing long, in my opinion, which can take a few weeks to develop. And I want these big trades. I don't care if I need to wait a week or two. When I get in, I want to go in big. Is there a chance for me to miss it? Absolutely. We do miss the trades as well. But I know that there would be high probability in smashing out from all-time high at some point, right? It's very, very common to hit the all-time high, get a rejection, maybe correct a little bit longer, and then smash through it later on. Very, very common, right? You're just going to get the first people that are shorting and the first people that are selling their Ethereum. It's a natural reaction at all-time high. I was very much vocal about this. I sold 15% of my entire Ethereum holdings. 15%. I was thinking about 20, but then I thought, yeah, it's a bit too aggressive. We're still in bullish market. I do see higher levels for Ethereum, but it's an instant reaction, right? People that have been investing for many years will dump their bags at all-time high. They will look to sell. All-time high isn't always a zone to let's unload some, especially if you've been buying at the $1,000-$2,000 levels. It's a must, right? People are in profit. Everybody's in profit now, right? Who's going to be the last one selling? Well, not me. I've sold a little bit. So it's very natural reaction to get this rejection at all-time high, right? If that makes sense. Of course it makes sense. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto Princess is around. Much love, Crypto Princess. Hopefully I will be seeing you soon. Never FOMO in, says Suzanne. Very true. WTF is Crow doing? I have no idea what Crow is doing, but we can take a look at Crow. Is it absolutely flying or is it dumping down? Wow, Crow is on the mission. Crow is on the mission here. Crow is doing absolutely fantastic, guys. Look at this. Very volatile coin, very pump and dumpy. But it wants to go. Maybe they have some partnerships, right? Because Chronos is from crypto.com, very big company. And maybe they got a big deal with, I don't know. There was the crypto.com arena, right? I'm not sure. I can't remember where, but it's a big company and they only need a little bit of good marketing to pump the price, right? They've probably got a good deal with somebody and there's been some good marketing campaigns going on and the price is taking the move. Crow is taking a good move. 1,000 likes, we get $1,000 giveaway, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button if you want some free money. Okay. Donald Trump is on about it or something. Maybe. Trump bought. I'm not sure if Trump has that much effect on the market, right? When he talks about a crypto anymore. Just like Elon Musk. Makes no sense. It's pumping. Is Filecoin safe? That's a very interesting question. Filecoin. I'm not an altcoin expert, guys. I know I want to believe Chainlink is safe and their technology will be used to get real world data, right, into the blockchain network. But this one, well, I think, Filecoin, which is also kind of a data coin, right? Data project. If I'm not mistaken, Filecoin. It rings a bell from the previous cycle. But where it is right now, it is wedging here in this downtrend at the bear market lows. I'm not sure if they're active, if they got a promising roadmap for the end of 25 and part of 26. But it is definitely in an interesting zone before it does any big movement to the upside. We know what happens when we are trading and wedging out here. Okay, after a major dump near the bear market lows, we know what happens when you wedge out for a few months, guys, and it's wedging out for several months right now. And it's probably waiting to see what happens with the altcoin season. But yeah, I would say that if you want to buy low, instead of selling low, if you want to buy low, this is very low. 96.5k next. Fibonacci, not 4,924k Fibonacci. That's interesting. Let's take a look at that on the higher time frame. Somebody says from 49 Fibonacci levels. It's not a pivot that I would use Fibonacci, to be honest, because there's too many waves in the middle. But somebody said, yeah, 382 here. I don't know. I'm not sure if that makes any sense. You wouldn't use Fibonacci from that pivot in the middle of a few waves here. Anyway, let's discuss Bitcoin, guys. It is time. Lower time frames has been explained. Okay, anybody that is a scalping fanatic, I think it's relatively easy to understand where we would have a short-term sign of strength, which we are coming into right now, which is the previous week low. If we manage to break where we got the previous week low, that acted as support yesterday, Monday, with that double bottom, acted as resistance today, still acting as resistance. It wants to take the push. If we manage to get a nice candlestick to the upside here, not a fake out, okay? We want to close at least a nice 15-minute, 5-minute big candle with green volume. A quick back test of this level to get continuation up is very, very likely. So we want to see that breakout from the previous week low, which is with the previous value area low from yesterday, right? Previous day value area low. When we get the session volume profile, getting back inside the previous day value levels can bring us a possibility to get to the previous day value area high, right? There is a nice sign of strength if we manage to get above it on the first wave, right? There is a chance here. So this is the zone where you want to look for support, okay? If you lose it, you're not interested in being in the long anymore. You want to maintain it as support. Previous week lows with the previous day value area low. Flip it as support. Get the dancing motion here. That's where you want to go long. Stop loss. Give it a little bit of room of a breather here. But ultimately looking for that possible rally to get back above the value area high. If we do not manage to break successfully the previous day value area low, well, we are just looking for another lower high and a possibility to come and revisit the lows of today at 108.6. Be careful in a downtrend, but of course this becomes a good possibility of a double bottom just because we have the previous year high. Little scalp, even though if it's just for another lower high, but it's a good bouncing level. Double bottom from today is acceptable just because we do have the previous year high. Only consider it as a scalp. If you do get a major rally, then absolutely golden. You can always leave some open, but it's a scalp at least to the VWAP, session VWAP. If we were to get down there, it is a bouncing level, okay? That's just internal scalps. People sometimes are interested in little movements, little trading setups. We've got a few of them right over there. And now let's zoom out on Bitcoin on the lower time frame and try and understand how did we get down here from all-time high? Is it looking good? Well, we had this fake movement on Friday, right? Jerome Powell here. Not happy. I'm not happy. You know, market makers took advantage of the little ones, such as myself. I felt like a fish inside of a shark tank, guys. I got eaten up with this wick. I felt super retail. I felt super dumb money, guys, with this movement. But anyway, it was a little trade and managing to lock in better profits on the reversal of Ethereum with the hype at all-time high and the movement down, which, you know, I'm very happy with the profit. So let's talk about this movement down. What the heck happened? Now, usually what we discuss on the channel, the big move to the upside, and I'll go through the comment section later on, guys. Suzanne, much love. 𝗬cie, much love to you, my brother. Suzanne, Staffer1. Much love, guys. When we do have this pump with high amount of volume, right, we always say that you want to label it as a wave 3, right? You always want to try and label it as a wave 3 or a wave 1, maybe if you have finished, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then maybe go up. But a wave 3 or a wave C, right? Or a wave Y in a correction, because your wave C usually finishes with the highest amount of volume. And because this was not a wave 3 or a wave 1 or any of that, because we did come back down to the lows, it has to be part of some kind of a corrective structure. If you get a pump with huge amount of volume and you come back down to the start without continuing the momentum up, it has to be the end of some kind of a correction, a C wave or a Y wave. So we need to label this as a C wave. If this is a C wave, well, the only thing that we can fit in here is a flat, right? It's not a third wave. It's not an impulsive move up to get continuation later on, 1, 2, 3, or 3, 4, 5, right? It came all the way back down to the lows. So it has to be part of a C wave. And in this case, what we do have is a flat, right? Because it's very one wavy. You can't finish a one wave. It all has to construct itself with 3 waves or 5 waves. So you can't just label this as one wave and then we go down. It doesn't work like that. This has to be part of a few more waves, right, that have happened back, right? So in this case, a flat. So we do have a flat here. That we do know. When we do take a look at the movement down, this is where it gets a little bit tricky and interesting, because my goodness, this was horrendous. Very shallow pullbacks, continuation to the downside. What we can label this is as an ABC movement down. Okay. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an impulsive move down. You got a triangle here. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Okay. Hang on a minute. Let's do this properly. Right. You got your flat structure right over here. You got your your ABC, 1, 2, 3 triangle. So you got one wave, another wave right over here in a triangle, and then your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is finishing your 3-wave structure. So you have a 3-wave structure here, ABC flat, and now we've got this mess right over here, which is very, very messy, right? Now the overall question is, eventually, what comes next here, right? What comes next? This can be labeled as your wave W, because you have a 3-wave structure, zigzag. You have your 3-wave flat in your wave X. And now what you're forming here, it would be relatively too quick to be a finished Y wave in a double zigzag. For me, it would be a little bit too quick in my opinion. So preferably we do see the range continuing to, the downside, get a little pump, continue to the downside here a little bit, so it can be a little bit more symmetrical from your Y wave. So it seems like that we need a little bit of more information here. We need a little bit of more information. You do have a zigzag down, a flat, and now you've got a very one wavy movement down. Okay, very aggressive. So it looks like that we do need a little bit of more time for the price to develop. That has the potential to form a double zigzag to the downside. So there is that chance of a corrective structure. Worst case scenario here for the price of Bitcoin is that we are forming a multiple 1-2. So with the same theory of this being the flat, because one thing that is clear for me inside of this momentum is this. This is what I do have clear on the chart, a flat right over here, because when you finish with the highest amount of volume and you come back down to the lows, that's the end of a wave. And obviously it's not a wave 3 because you didn't get continuation. It's not a wave 1. You didn't get continuation to the upside. So it has to be part of a corrective structure. And the only one that we have is a flat. So we know this is either an X or it's a wave 2, right? Or it can be a B wave as well. So we know that this is the wave. This is one wave right over here. So if we do have the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. If I get the box out of the way here, we got a little low right there. This can be also a 5-wave structure. This can be a flat in a wave 2. So you can have a 1 and a 2 here. It's horrible price action, guys. I have to say. It's not the most beautiful price action. And right now what you do have is also a 5-wave move down and the possibility of a bounce here to form a lower high for another 1 and another 2. And then you break down in a 3rd wave. I'm not leaning that this is the scenario that's going to happen for Bitcoin. But we need a little bit more price action and confirmation here to really know what is going on in the movie, right? What's happening? This is the story. The charts is telling us a story which we can't quite figure out at the moment to see what is the highest probability move on the higher time frame. Once we get more information throughout the next coming days, we will realize what is the highest probability. So eventually when we do hit, if we do hit the last lower high, we realize that this ended up in a 3-wave structure, right? If we manage to pump all the way up to $117,000, we have good news here. This movement down is corrective. That will be like, yes, right? This is good. This is good. This is very good. Of course, that's if we do not get continuation to the downside, because the multiple 1, 2, right? If we do break down in a 3rd wave, 4, 5, then obviously we just downtrending, guys, bear market. But if we do manage to reclaim $117,000, it will be a good sign. It will be a very good sign. And I want to give you a few examples. I mean, this would be the best example here. I think this would be the best example where you realize where you have a 3-wave move down and you get a massive rally almost to the highs. You realize that whatever happens here is likely going to be corrective and you're going to take out the highs at some stage, right? So it becomes crucial. That does not mean by any means, guys, that if you claim the last lower high, which is the pump from Friday, before getting follow through here, this would be a very good sign that whatever develops in this area will be corrective and you are looking to take out all-time high in the near future at some point. Now, the most aggressive scenario would be, let's just say that we move up and we take out this high, which could be definitely a swing failure pattern level and reject very aggressively, getting a 3-wave move down, 3-wave move up, and a 3-wave move to the downside and form a double zigzag situation, right? Double zigzag situation here that can be very aggressive. It can get down to the low 100K levels, even below 100K. It has the potential. But this would confirm that what is happening here is corrective, and it will be time to look for epic swing long positions. This is one scenario that could happen. Once you claim this pivot, I do not believe that you are going to shoot up to all-time high once you claim this pivot, just because it would make sense to have a larger correction, because we have been, we have had a massive rally, guys, in 5-wave structure. And what we're leaning on the finished structure to the upside here is a 5-wave move, right? This is finished. We've had an awesome rally since April. Very, very strong, super duper, bang, 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 right? It's happened, guys, right? A local top here for Bitcoin is very much a reality, and we could be chopping around and correcting and going sideways with little pumps, okay, to 117, maybe 120, and then continue down again, getting down to the low 100K levels. It can be a very, very choppy range for many weeks here, okay, because we have had an awesome rally already since April in a 5-wave structure. Regardless if it's a contracting, leading diagonal or ending diagonal, or it's a 5-wave impulsive move, when you finish a 5-wave move to the upside, you are looking for the correction. You are looking for the correction. It can be a zigzag aggressively. It can be a 𝗬𝗚𝘂𝗍. It can go sideways. 𝗬𝗚𝘂𝗍. It can be very choppy, very complex, but it can take many weeks to develop. Okay. With the potential of coming down to the low 100K levels and even below 100K, guys. You know, there is a possibility. I don't think we would reach below 100K. I wouldn't think we would go that low. But it has the potential to go to the low 100K levels. We just have a lot of support here. We do have a lot of support. And if it is going to be a double zigzag, I mean, we got some common extensions, right? If we were to hit 117K in the next coming days, that's you know, looking at the one of the most bearish case scenarios. 1-to-1 to the 1236 is your most common, okay, extension. That's if we were to get the rally here. So we got the 3-wave move down for the moment. If we get a 3-wave up, depending on where that lower high sits, either here or here, right? Very common target areas for the double zigzag is the 1-to-1 to the 1236. I mean, this is coming down to the low 100K levels, right? Which would end up in a very aggressive move down throughout September, possibly, which would still be bullish. You know what would confirm that this is bullish? Taking out the last lower high. The main reason is because it would confirm that it's a 3-wave structure. That's what we need. We need confirmation, guys. And once you take out that high, the pullbacks are going to be looked at with magnifying glass, guys. I will be looking at the movements with a magnifying glass to look for the best opportunity, realizing that it's a matter of time that we do hit all-time high at some point, regardless if it's a sideways correction or if it's a double zigzag most aggressively. If you do rally very high here, well above the golden pocket from the high and the low, you're very likely going to form a sideways corrective structure. So, and then go to all-time high. So there will be information. And I mean, the crucial information is claim the last lower high of the impulsive move down for the moment, because we only have 3 waves down. We only have 3 waves down right now. And we do not want to have a 5-wave down. We don't want this to be a double 1-2, right? We do not want to see that big push down, even though later on there will be a long opportunity. I'm talking about longs here for the bulls. We do not want the push down because, I mean, the risk is if we form a 5-wave move to the downside with double 1-2s and we get an aggressive push down with high volume in the next coming days, then there is bad news here, because what we would be forming potentially is multiple 1-2s, 3, 4, 5. This ends up being an impulsive move down. And if you do get your first impulsive move to the downside from all-time high, yeah, it's not going to be it's not going to be pretty, guys. Let's hope that this does not happen, because when you get an aggressive move down in an impulse, the relief rallies are usually the signs to get out. if it were to be, of course you could form an ABC and then move up to all-time high, but I would treat this as a sign, sign of weakness if we were to move down with high volume and get a relief bounce. It's just market structure. When I sold 25% of my entire portfolio was back in 2021, and this was live. This was on the live streams. I was very vocal about it, and I was saying, guys, I'm out with 25% of everything except for Chainlink. I did ride significant amount down, guys, but it was a good trigger signal for me to get out of the market. We had the 𝗖𝗿𝗆𝗍 distribution event, right? Who remembers this, guys? Any legit follower from 2021? We're talking about 4 years ago now. The channel was still active, and we talked about there was many different signs: market structure break with high volume, 5-wave move up in a kind of a contracting diagonal. You broke the structure. There was the 𝗖𝗍𝗆𝗍 distribution event. You formed 3 peaks. There was high volume on the movements to the downside from every all-time high. You do not want to see that, right? When you are in an impulsive move to the upside, you want to see green volume on the rally. You want to see the volume very green and very big on the rallies. When you rally like this and you see big red volume candles, on the downside, you have bigger volume on the downside in an uptrend. That is a big red flag, guys. It's a very big red flag. So you can see it here, guys, right? It's on the chart. The chart tells you the story. And this bounce was the exit bounce. And this was very much, on live streams throughout April and May of 2021, where we were talking about, it doesn't look too great, guys. We're probably going to form another leg to the downside. We're probably going to get that distribution, go down to the low 30K levels. And we did. We were very vocal about this situation. There was so many red flags. Break of structure, uptrend, higher high, higher low. First break of structure. Relief rallies will come, but this is where the smart money gets out. Red volume on the movements down in an uptrend. Red flag, guys. Red flag. So we are waiting for that sign, basically, guys. The chart will tell us the story. No matter how emotional you're attached to Bitcoin and crypto, and no altcoin season yet, it's impossible for the altcoin season to be finished. It's not possible, right? We're going to go higher. Euro is putting the digital euro, right? Europe is putting the digital euro on Ethereum network. There's no bear market going to happen, guys. It's impossible, right? Don't get attached to the money, to the M2 global money supply, guys, or none of that bollocks, guys. All of this can trap the people. This is data that is, for me, not reliable as an exit strategy. It's just going to hype you up to blindly think that we will go to higher levels just because we've been following it here. Anyway, I have another strategy. Once we get a big red dildo to the downside, I will be very much watching very carefully the relief rally to exit. I'm not saying, this is just a warning sign, right? It's just like when it happens. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but when it does happen, big volume on the breakdown, you have multiple 1-2s and you get a big move down here. Boom, 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 right? And the increased volume compared to the uptrend, the bounce is going to be the moment of, yeah, guys. This would still be forming bullish market structure, but I would consider selling a significant chunk of the portfolio. So we need to get out, guys, because if you don't get out, of course, if you're thinking for the long term, for 10 years, well, then that you'll be okay, right? I'm just talking about, I wish I would have sold some more crypto in 2021, okay? I did sell a significant chunk, which was life-changing money for me already. But I did ride to the downside a significant amount, and I did see hundreds of thousands of dollars just disappear, wiped out. And I don't want this to happen to the people that are invested, right? And I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to be more aggressive when I start seeing signs of weakness. And I don't care, guys, selling at the top, right? Because I didn't sell at the top here on most of the cryptos and Bitcoin. You know, but the relief rally is where you want to get out, realizing that we've got our first sign of weakness, right? Because a lot of people say we need a sign of weakness, we need a sign of strength, and maybe a lot of people don't realize what that is, right? What's a sign of weakness? What's a sign of strength? You know, get into the long when we see a sign of strength. And like, well, when's the sign of strength, right? When's the sign of strength? When does that happen? When's the sign of weakness? Well, I mean, for me, in my understanding and my experience, obviously a sign of weakness would be getting a big breakdown with big volume, right? The movement has already happened, right? Because you might think, when are you going to sell? When there's a sign of weakness? Well, the movement happened already. You should have sold the top, you dumbass, right? But the relief rallies do happen, right? You will get the relief rally that will give you that information. And that's where you get out personally, right? That's where the smart money doors get out on the relief rally. And this happened very, very nicely in 2021. Just a classic. And the matter of fact, if you do take a look at the cheat sheet, the Wall Street cheat sheet, this is the big breakdown, right? When the parabolic move happens, right? In this case on the cheat sheet, and you get the big movement down is the sign of weakness. That is the sign of weakness, right? Big move down. You're breaking the parabolic momentum here, and you do get a significant sell-off. And then eventually you get the dead cat bounce relief rally, which is time to get out. I mean, this is literally what happened on Bitcoin in 2021. Still big market structure, continuation, first major leg down with high volume. Relief rally. Time to get out on the relief rally. 50% golden pocket. You can choose which Fibonacci level you can get out in, but it's the moment that you want to consider getting out, right? So still no major signs of that, guys. The price is still very bullish. We are looking for new all-time highs. We are trying to identify this latest move from all-time high with the information that we have on the candlesticks, right? We're doing a bit of higher time frame here, guys. Lower time frame is exclusive for the Telegram community, pro community, right? And the Signals channel, the exclusive channel on Telegram. If you want more info on that, guys, you got the first link down below. And of course, if you want to trade, and maybe some of you traders already using Bluffin or Weeks, they have insane deals, guys. Weeks, Bluffin, you got great deals. Ethereum getting the pumpy action. If we do claim that lower high, I have to say, Ethereum will be looking pretty damn okay. Because with that same theory of, you know, Bitcoin on the higher time frame, Ethereum getting a bit of a push here. Ethereum, don't screw my short. Don't screw my short, because I want to make some more profits on that short. Don't screw me off here. If we claim the last lower high, which it's not looking bad, this movement will be a confirmation three-wave structure, which will automatically, not to worry about the short, guys, I will be looking for long positions and we'll take advantage of the long. But it will confirm that new all-time highs will happen for Ethereum if this last lower high at 4,680 is hit, which could happen today. This is not stopping, right? It wants to push higher. I'm not sure if we do have any major levels here on Ethereum, but it is bouncing nicely. As long as we don't claim that lower high, we're still locally correcting, downtrending, right? So this would be a good sign right there. If you claim that, this will confirm a three-wave structure. If you claim the last lower high of a three-wave structure, whatever happens here, you're looking for a correction and all-time high to be hit later on throughout the next coming weeks, if not days. Now, there is a catch on this, guys. There is a catch on this. You might think, okay, so this is a three-wave structure. We claim that high. I will get into the correction. But then the correction gets an aggressive move down like this, forming a double zigzag, right? A double zigzag possibility. So this doesn't mean that it needs to shoot up from here. It will just tell you that whatever's happening in this zone is corrective, and we are looking to hit all-time high at some point. So the levels after taking out this pivot, not the levels, the movements have to be studied very, very well to understand where are we at in the correction. Okay, because what you could form here is a zigzag. You're coming up, you're taking out this high, and then you continue the range. You might form a triangle structure. And what you're looking at here is a WXY. Very nice indeed. We're looking for the highs to be taken. We could get into some longs later on, understanding this structure. We need more information, but this would be a good sign, taking out 4,680 lower high from yesterday. That's the first green sign that all-time highs, despite of whatever happens, you are looking for a corrective structure in this zone to then take out all-time high later on. So it will be very interesting to look for longs on the pullbacks aggressively, building up some swing longs, because as long as that high is not taken, guys, there is a chance still for the double 1-2, right? It's not out of the woods. This is still a lower high, a lower high could be formed here. Taking out this high will be very good. High probability that we do take out all-time high for Ethereum in the coming weeks once that lower high is taken. If you do not take out that high, we continue the downtrend from all-time high and we look for the breakdown. Sweep up these lows, create a few 4-5s, 1-2, 1-2, big 3, and then eventually this is the longing zone that I would be interested in. If we were to get down there, this is where I'm looking to get heavily long on Ethereum on the big pullback. If we don't get down there and we hit this level, the swing long might not be as big, might be a 10% move, right? We'll have to analyze what happens later on after claiming this lower high to jump into the long position. So in a nutshell, guys, with a bit of Picasso drawing, hopefully we do not claim that high. If this lower high is claimed, I'm going to get out on the movement down. I'll start getting out from my short position, just realizing that it's a matter of time that we do hit all-time high and I need to exit the rest of this short position, which, I mean, I'm still very, very happy with the, I did take significant profits on the movement down, over 60%, $40,000 on that short, realizing that we can bounce in this region. But I'm going to leave it open. If we do claim the lower high, if we get a pullback, I will start getting out aggressively. For the moment, I'll be leaving it open. Legends, if you are interested in trading, Bluffin is an awesome platform, okay? It's one of the best out there at the moment. That only requires an email and a password. They do launch the coins, meme coins, very fast, faster than any other exchange. And you do get exclusive bonuses in the pinned comment or the second link down below, guys. You can claim VIP1 or VIP2, which decreases your fees depending on what you deposit, as you can see. And you get 10% cash back. Okay, guaranteed 10% cash back on your deposits up to $3,000. You deposit $30,000, you're getting $3,000 on top of that for your trading, guys, increasing your capital by 10%. Take advantage of Bluffing, guys. You got the second link down below. Okay, or the pinned link here in the pinned comment, I think it is. So Ethereum, that's what we're looking at here, a little bit on the higher time frame. And Bitcoin, a bit of the same story on the higher time frame. Really trying to get that last lower high before we continue to the downside. Two scenarios here. As mentioned, we've got a zigzag move down, a flat in your wave X, a possible another zigzag down could be a scenario. What we want to see later on is a very strong impulsive move up to start feeling bullish. Find support. We need a lot of information here still, unfortunately, but yeah, we just get very downtrending here. There's more information that we need to be confident on the directional bias. Okay, if you claim that last lower high, it's going to be looking very good, guys. Very, very good. This will be the confirmation level that you have formed a three-wave structure to the downside. And what you are looking at throughout the next couple of weeks is continuation of the range in a corrective matter. Meaning that if you move up here, yeah, you could form a zigzag down, double zigzag. You could form a zigzag up, form a flat structure in this zone, and then move to higher levels. Many corrective scenarios could develop here, which we will be following through in the video updates and live streams, giving you the highest probability movements and levels. Put a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section if you would like more video updates explaining the levels and possible scenarios, because live streams can get very boring, can get very long and very unorganized. I do get that. A lot of, Q&A and altcoins and just a bit messy. Let me know in the comment section, guys. Would you like video updates based on possible scenarios, how the price could develop, best, trading opportunity zones in video updates? Because my video updates don't get too much love, guys, so I don't do them. What is your target to cash out on Link? 𝗞𝗔, the man himself, the legend. I can heat the entire apartment building after a can of beans. 𝗞𝗔, my brother. 1,000 likes, $1,000 giveaway, guys. It's unlikely to happen. It's not going to happen by the looks of things. Make sure to smash it up, guys. That like button, 300 likes. Woo. We can get that like button. My target zone for Link is at least $30. We are moving up still very impulsively. We have been correcting down in the last few days a little bit, but my goodness, Link is holding like a beast. Link is holding like a beast. I think that this correction could last a few more days, weeks, but we're very bullish. I'm going to start exiting, guys, and I said this. I'm going to take 30% profit out of my Chainlink spot bag here. Once we take out $30, I don't care if we break out aggressively in a wave 3. There is a bearish case. There could be a rejection, aggressive rejection. I am getting out with 30%. I've changed my strategy. My strategy for the last few years on Chainlink has been, I'm not selling till we hit an all-time high. I'm not selling till we hit all-time high, but I realized that I have too much money here and it's too much to have on risk to hold another bear market for many years. So I'm literally going to sell about 30% as soon as we cross $30, because that would already be over a 5-6x of my main zone of accumulation. I did buy Chainlink here at $1.60, $2. However, I didn't buy that much. Most of my Chainlink has been bought here throughout 2022 and 2023. Okay, so it would be an average of 6x return, which, come on, guys, it's very, very good. When if it's $1,000, it's not much, but if you have $100,000 and you're making a 6x, right? $500,000, profit, you want to really start collecting some if it's big money, right? So I will leave a moon bag. I will leave 70% for an attempt to hit all-time high. And depending on the information that we get, guys, I think it's going to be relatively clear. If we move up from here and we fail to, and we get a big rejection and the bounce looks like crap here, I'm going to get out, guys. I'm going to get out another 30% or so. I'll leave 40% or 30% just in case we get an awesome 2026. Who knows? I'll have to leave some. Never sell everything, but it depends on the information that we get on the chart later on. If we do get a big rejection, 5 waves, increasing volume, the dead cat bounce, I'm getting out. I'm getting out because I know I've seen this story before. Bear market. You think we were going to hit all-time high? Not this cycle, right? And this, I guess, the XRP army. Eventually, I would look to buy more in the bear market, guys. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I would look to buy Chainlink if we entered a bear market after a pump. If we do not hit all-time high and we pump and we reject dead cat bounce and we just get into a bear market throughout 2026, coming to low $10 or maybe even $5, who knows? I would look to buy more. But I just want to sell and buy double, triple, right, with that money if we do get a bear market of the holdings. That would be my strategy here, because XRP army, they were not happy in the previous bull run. They had all-time high of 2017 as the main target, right? I'm not sure if you are an XRP holder from the previous bull run. Let me know in the comment section. But all-time high was not hit. The all-time high was not hit in the previous bull run of 2017. So I'm just going to stay on the safe side. And I want to get out above $30. I will leave a significant amount, 70%. And depending on how the price does move, I will let the people know on YouTube if I'm out, if I'm in. It's a 6x return above $30. And I'm very happy with that because I haven't got 10,000 invested in Chainlink or 50, right? So it's going to be significant profits and I need to take some out, guys. So that's me anyway. I do think that all-time high will be reached, but the problem is, will it be a breakout? Will it be a successful breakout on Chainlink? It all depends on the information on the chart. How powerful will that breakout be? If we break out successfully and we just continue the rally with very corrective structures on the pullbacks, then happy days, guys. I'll be leaving 70% still in my portfolio to see if we do continue the uptrend momentum. As long as we move down correctively, we are good to hold. And don't get me wrong, I won't sell the high. The best way is when you get a big flush, you will get some kind of a quick relief rally to get out. Okay, so I will be trying to detect that relief rally at some stage. But imagine XRP army, guys. Put a number 1 if you are in the XRP army in the comment section, or put a number 2 if you're not, or a thumbs down, thumbs up, XRP army, thumbs down if you're not part of the XRP army. Do you think XRP is legit? XRP, guys, you either love it or hate it. There's no in between, right? Phantom, give more liquidity. Suzanne, what's Phantom doing? Is he longing or is he shorting? Much love, 𝗬𝗫cie, the man himself. Thank you very much for joining the stream, brother. Very much appreciated, okay? Jackie Wood, got my mother here giving love as always. Number one, I have a big XRP bag not selling, says Suzanne. Woo! Thumbs down on the XRP here. You either love it or you hate it, guys. I got in XRP last year. Who loves XRP? We got lots of 1s, a few 2s, a few thumbs down on XRP. It's either a scam or it's legit. It's either gonna, banks are gonna be using their technology, right? There's not gonna be any more Swift. It's gonna be XRP Ledger. Or it's a total scam, guys. We want crypto to be decentralized. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP is completely centralized, legends. Okay, something that you need to understand. So you either love it or hate it. Love it or hate it, XRP. So what happened with XRP in the previous cycle is that we did not reach the all-time high of 2017. So it was a long range here. 6-7 years, guys, since the all-time high. Over 7 years to get back to all-time high. I mean, that's a long time, guys. So I don't want this to happen to Chainlink. I'm aware of this wave to happen for Chainlink, and I do not want to be part of it, guys. I do not want to be part of the risk. So I'm going to get out at $30 with a significant chunk, guys. It's just to stay on the safe side, okay? I do think that all-time high is very much possible. I will still have 70% of the bag, but 𝗏𝗏 knows that I've been in Chainlink and buying Chainlink. 𝗏𝗏, actually, 𝗬𝗏cie here, moderator from the channel, did get into a long position here at $5 at the spring point. I mean, he knows we've been talking about Chainlink for years and accumulation, and oh my goodness, I'm buying more today. I bought another 1,000 Chainlink. I bought more here. I bought more. It's been a long story, guys. So we want to get out with some profits. Anyway, in 5 years, XRP will flay over. Absolutely. Saro Maro. Brand, baby. At this point, they are nationalizing. Holding is so long by bonding together. We are rational investors after all. Yeah. Anti-talking Chainlink, better grab your popcorn. 𝗏𝗏, much love to you, brother. Thanks for joining the stream. Phantom, you are tripping. Sell all your bags, guys. Phantom, don't worry. We're still good. Hedera Andy, I want to be retired at 2030. That's why. Suzanne, very good. You know, Bitcoin will reach $1 million, guys, in our lifetime. 2028, 2032. We're going to see Bitcoin at $1 million. You know, that is almost kind of guaranteed. Okay? Almost guaranteed. We can't say it's guaranteed, right? We never know. Might get a big bear market before that. But we are going to see, very likely, guys, unless you are 100 years old or 90 years old, right? People that are watching the stream, 99% of us, or 100%, right? We will see Bitcoin at $1 million. And it's probably going to happen sooner than we think. Will it be 4 years? Will it be 6 years? Will it be 10 years? I don't think it will be 10 years. It will be sooner than 10 years. So that's a 10x from current prices, right? Almost a 10x. You know, hey, a lot of people can retire, you know, with, if you have one Bitcoin or even half a Bitcoin, well, maybe $500,000 would be, keep it a little bit tight. But $1 million, you know, I know a lot of people could almost retire with $1 million, go to Thailand and live on the beach, right? Or in a little cabin and just live, right? Drink some coconuts that are going to cost you $1, right? Or a couple of dollars, you know, and eat some, you know, cheap food out there. You know, some people can retire very well with $500,000, even $1 million, right? And live in it. Obviously, if you live in Switzerland, when you're going to have a problem. If you live in Dubai, you're probably going to have a problem. You cannot retire just as quite with $1 million. But so I think the end game here is to buy as much Bitcoin, right? We know Bitcoin is the king, guys. It is the king. All of the rest have problems. All of the rest have problems. XRP, we do not know if it's going to succeed. Okay, at the end of the day, it's centralized. Chainlink, will Chainlink be used? Really? Will blockchain technology get fully adopted? And will Chainlink be the one that leads the real world data into blockchain technology, you know, into the blockchain network? Maybe another one's going to come better in a few years, right? So the safest bet, without a doubt, is Bitcoin, guys, as a long-term investment, right? We can trade it. We can try and make money. And yeah, this money, reinvest it, right? Trading, the good thing about trading, right? I got $50,000 here right now. And I want to kind of invest this. I kind of want to feel I want to have it in cash and increase my trading portfolio, if I'm honest with you. I want to make bigger trades every time. So I'm focused more mainly now in increasing. I'm happy with my spot bags. I don't want to buy anything up here. I don't want to buy Bitcoin up here. I have Bitcoin. I don't want to buy Chainlink. I'm looking to sell Chainlink. I'm not buying XRP up here. Come on. No chance. Despite if it goes to $6, $7. No chance. No chance. So there's not really much stuff to buy. I've got a bunch of ICP. I bought a couple of altcoins, which are not doing that great. But there's not much to buy, and I'm concerned of what could happen. I've already bought a chunk of ICP here, which is already 5% of my crypto portfolio. I'm worried about, well, not worried, but I'm concerned about a spring point here, guys, which I would actually buy a few thousand more ICP, if I'm honest with you here. If we do get down to $4, I would take it as a gift. Do not panic. I'm not going to panic here if ICP gets below $4 low of the range. I'm going to say this might be the last spring point. I would really aggressively buy at $4. At least a few thousand ICP here. Just to have one of those crypto that could really create a 5-10x in the next coming months. Give it a shot. But I'm more interested in increasing my trading portfolio, right? Get those flashy few 100K profit trades, right? That's what people like to see. Kind of crypto face style, right? Who knows crypto face out there, which is, you know, putting trades of $500,000, right? Profit. I want to increase my trading portfolio safely. Trying not to sell much of my spot portfolio. Try and increase it by trading. So keep up the profits and just increase the trading portfolio to make more money, right? In the next coming years, it's another way. It's another way. Anyway, legends, trade safe. Not much to talk about. We talked about some internal scalping scenarios, how the price could develop. I will do a video update, I think tomorrow, explaining a few of the scenarios on how the price could move. We talked about little scalping levels today, getting back above the previous week low, and also getting back above the previous value area low, previous day value area low. That could be a first initial sign of strength. Look for a back test. Okay, look for a back test from previous week low, which is acting as resistance today. This could very much be a successful neckline to get a push up to the previous day value area high, okay? You might get a little struggle here at the point of control, a little bit of a reaction, corrective move, but ultimately, if not, we go down, guys. If not, we continue the downtrend, and you know there is the potential for the multiple 1-2. There's no signs of a reversal. This is why I'm not long on Bitcoin. I do not have any big trades open. The only big trade is the short on Ethereum. If we do bounce aggressively, I miss the long. It's not clear for me in this zone. There's some little scalps, little entries that you can get into. Flip the previous week low. It has acted as support yesterday and resistance today. It is big resistance today, the previous week low, which is also the previous day value area low. So if you do get back above here, you can flip it as support, get an extra rally. Only if you break out nicely with high volume, look for a back test. If we come down, double bottom is an option. Stay cautious in the downtrend and the breakouts, manage risk. Previous yearly high is sitting at the lows of today, just slightly below. The highs of 2024 is 108,400. This is not a weekly high or a monthly high, it's the yearly high. So some kind of a reaction bounce is very, very possible. I've seen previous yearly highs get a reaction after many months, guys. Would be nice to look for an example here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to have to do the levels and everything. But so yeah, there's a very, very good chance that you could double bottom here, at least for a short bounce. It could break later on, it could recover, but there's a little scalp, at least to the VWAP. Okay, at least to the session VWAP. Nice little scalp long on an SFP of the previous year high. just little intraday trading, guys, till we get more information on the higher time frame, because we do not have enough information right now to have confidence that we are going to hit all-time high just as of yet. I think it's going to be a few weeks here to develop. A few weeks ago, I was very confident, guys. This is where I made a six-figure trade, guys. Exactly $101,000 profit on this movement to the upside, realizing that this is corrective. And no matter if we do push down from the low here, I'm still maintaining swing long position because I'm confident that all-time high will be hit. So we need more information to be confident, guys. And now, I'll be transparent about it, not only here on YouTube, but mainly in the groups in Telegram. Also, guys, you do have the Telegram to join. It is the first link down below. Get more information for the pro community or for the exclusive Telegram where I share my trades on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Mainly, it does take days, guys. It can take a little bit of time. The latest one was the short position, was given in advance here, just telling you what I'm doing, waiting for hourly candle close to add to the position. And we got the 4 hourly candle close, triggered some orders, got into a pretty nice short here on Ethereum at all-time high. You have the information down below. You do have all of the exchanges as well. Bluffing, Weeks, the ones that I use. Weeks, you have 100% position airdrop. Okay. Deposit, get the airdrop position. You can see here the airdrops of value that you can get on Weeks. You got 25% fee reduction. You got Bluffing as well with a 10% cashback. All of these perks you can get, guys, signing up with the second link or the fourth link. And if you do sign up with one of those links, you will be getting access to the exclusive Telegram channel where I'm sharing my Bitcoin and Ethereum trades, mainly for the long term. Thank you, legends. Take care. 𝗞𝗔, Suzanne, up or down, sir? Much love. I need to take my dogs for a walk now. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. And I'll see you in the next one.